This report just opened a very interesting door for the Vancouver Canucks as they continue searching for their second line center, and NHL Insider reveals the perfect one is becoming available this season. But not only that, we get a huge update on the Vancouver Canucks #1 selection, Braeden Cootes, and this will have fans fired up. We're going to break down this report on the perfect center coming out of the Eastern Conference and an update on Braeden Cootes, which is going to be having fans raving. We're going to break down all this and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching this. And if you're part of the 57.4% watching this and you want to stay up to date on everything to do around the Vancouver Canucks, from trades, reports, rumors, prospect updates, you can catch that right here on Canucks Digest. So go ahead and hit that free subscribe button. It helps a bunch, and in return, we'll give you daily updates from all around this team. But with that, let's just hop straight into this today, and we're going to dive into this prospect since we have the rookie showcase coming up tomorrow night. Now with this, we do get an update that first rounder Braeden Cootes is getting some pointers from Manny Malhotra on faceoffs. If the Canucks want to develop him into the elite faceoff guy that Manny Malhotra was, I would be completely okay with this. With Cootes training hard, we've seen the reports coming from Thomas Drance, which I did a full video on, and that'll be linked at the end of the video. But with Cootes wanting to make a case to get a 9-game sample size with the Canucks, seeing his development work ethic, wanting to get in and show in this prospect showcase that he is ready to break into the NHL is just another part to be super excited about the kid. Now with Cootes drafted 15th overall, we've talked about him all offseason, we've raved about him. Coming out of Seattle, playing 60 games, putting up 63 points, including 26 goals, and going out to put home 8 points in 6 playoff games. Everything you want out of a prospect, Cootes is starting to show. We want the leadership. He captained the Seattle team and the U18 World Junior team for Canada. Cootes has a high motor, someone that's going to continue developing his faceoff skill. I mean, we've seen it from Manny Malhotra teaching the kid. This prospect showcase is going to show us a lot about Cootes. Now, we've seen the reports from Thomas Drance that he really goes out to show this Canucks team, not only in the prospect showcase happening tomorrow, which we're going to cover completely, but going into training camp, into the preseason. He may get a couple of sample side games throughout the season, but I do think at the end of the day, if you want to play Cootes for a couple of games, not burn the ELC, and try to get him into this lineup for a handful of games, I still think it's best to go back to the WHL. Work on his game, dominate against some of the younger guys within that league so Cootes can continue to develop. Yes, getting him in, if he's fully ready, would be awesome. But I will continue to preach to the choir that the Vancouver Canucks don't have a terrible center depth. Elias Pettersson wants to go out revenge season to put up a 100-point season yet again. Filip Hronek is thriving and healthy this offseason, which is pointing towards a productive season as he wants to prove to this management group that he can be a 2C. Atiratu is going to come in, a lead on the faceoffs, a great forechecker, and someone that can hold down the third line. And if that doesn't work, you do have Teddy Bluger ready to jump straight into the middle six. This is a team that's slowly going to start to come together. Yes, there's trade reports, which we're going to touch on. But what is your overall thoughts on Cootes? Would you like to see Cootes get into this lineup for a handful of games with the Canucks? Or would you rather him just go straight back to the WHL to continue to develop in a league where he can really go out and do anything he wants? We see in the 63 points. It would not shock me if Cootes went out to put up nearly 100 points in the WHL. Now listen, that is a big jump in the season, but Cootes is progressing at a crazy rate. But with that, let's just hop straight into the second topic today, where we did get a report coming out from RG Media, and this was a report by James Murphy going in to say the Montreal Canadiens and Calgary Flames, among other teams, have shown interest this offseason in Boston Bruins forward Paval Zacha. The Bruins aren't interested in selling yet. Now, the big thing is the Vancouver Canucks are not fully linked in this. We've seen multiple times that they have been kind of linked, but seeing those reports saying the Canadiens are definitely interested in Zacha. We've seen several teams. The Flames are one. If a team is selling a second-line center, there is a 0% chance that Patrik Allvin is not at least inquiring about him. Now, with Paval Zacha, there is a lot to like about this forward. The first thing being a small cap hit for a capable second-line center that would make an immediate impact on this Canucks Canucks team. We've touched on it before, 2 years left, including this year and next year. With Zacha, $4.75 million, this is the perfect cap hit. Now, with the Canucks only having about 3.2, they would still have to move out another player, a roster player, in order to make this work, unless the Bruins retain, and I think the money would get too big. Now, looking at the report, we can see that it says the Bruins aren't interested just yet, but going farther into it, Paval Zacha is the perfect piece the Canucks could end up bringing in to fill out this position. 14 goals, 47 points in 82 games last year. A bit of a down year, but the Boston Bruins stunk. And listen, we love to hear that with the Bruins playing bad. But if Paval Zacha is a player that does become available, and listen, we're going to get into the report on when he may become available, this is the perfect opportunity for Patrik Allvin to call and saying, hey, we need a second line center. And just looking at this current core, if you fill this out, if you kept Filip Hronek, if you had to move on from Teddy Blueger, listen, I don't want to move on from the Latvian king himself, but this Canucks team down the middle, if you have Elias Pettersson with Paval Zacha, going down even farther with Filip Hronek and Aatu Räty, that becomes a lot more deep. And listen, once again, no hate to anyone in the center position, but Paval Zacha is a proven second line center that can fill a lot in the lineup. Now, going further into Zacha, we've seen the 14 goals, the 47 points, a -8, but once again, we love the Bruins sucking last year. The big thing with Zacha, 53.2% on the draw. The year previous, just shy of 55%. He doesn't throw the most hits, though the year before, 106. Paval Zacha comes in with NHL experience and playoff experience with this Bruins team, and I genuinely think there is no better fit currently available. I mean, Sidney Crosby would be killer, but the big thing is a defensively responsible center that can throw a bit of hits, be elite on the faceoff dot, while coming in at 6'3" frame. I think this is leaning towards the Vancouver Canucks, maybe best option to look at and pursue if they do end up selling. Now, we do see that the source told James Murphy at RG that if the Bruins go off to a terrible start to start the year before the American Thanksgiving, if the Bruins get off to a brutal start and the trade freeze is looming, well, this could become a lot more than just listening, but that goes for other Bruins players too, not just Zacha. But when you're tying together Paval Zacha's contract, the fact that the Boston Bruins might want to look for future pieces, the Vancouver Canucks have the perfect opportunity to start looking. And listen, Canucks fans, I know a lot of us want to go out and fill out that center position, but with the Canucks, all signs are really pointing to, even Elliot Friedman's report going to say, unless Patrik Allvin pulls a rabbit out of his hat, was the exact quote, that they're not going to go out and get a center just yet, and they're going to internally look at the group. And I do expect them to start the season with this, unless once again Allvin pulls out his magic and pulls a rabbit from the hat. But this is a team that can test this out. They do need to get to a hot start. They need to keep the outside noise out. But I think with the Canucks having so many people ready to break through and prove a point, they can get away with this group going into the American Thanksgiving, where the trade freeze will happen, or all the way into trade deadline. But Canucks fans, what is your thoughts on this? Would you like to go out and get Paval Zacha to join this team? What is your thoughts on Cootes just working with Manny Malhotra? He has the Sedins to work with. He is in the perfect spot to continue his development before going back to the WHL. Let us know down in the comments. And speaking of comments, let's go straight into comments of the day today, where this came in from Hero. He said, I'd rather let Leckramacki and Willander have a full season in the AHL under Manny's guidance and learn the pro game. I do agree with this, especially with Jonathan Leckramacki, but a little hint towards a video tomorrow where there's a lot of high praise from Tom Willander, and things are starting to point that he may come in as the 6th or 7th defenseman, which we will break down in a full video, so keep your eye out for that as well. But if you want to go down and leave a comment, you could be featured on a comment of the day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark Bye. There is a lot coming up. I mean, that prospect showcase tomorrow is going to be awesome, so keep your eye out for that as well. But take care, Canucks fans. Enjoy your weekend, and Canucks hockey is upon us.